We live, so we are told, in a post-ideological society. We are interpellated, that is to say, addressed by social authority, not as subjects who should do their duty, sacrifice themselves, but subjects of pleasures. Realize your true potential, be yourself, lead a satisfying life. When you put the glasses on, you see dictatorship in democracy. It's the invisible order which sustains your apparent freedom. According to our common sense, we think that ideology is something blurring, confusing our straight view. Ideology should be glasses which distort our view. And the critique of ideology should be the opposite, like you take off the glasses so that you can finally see the way things really are. Ideology is not simply imposed on ourselves. Ideology is our spontaneous relationship to our social world, how we perceive its meaning, and so on and so on. We, in a way, enjoy our ideology. To step out of ideology, it hurts. It's a painful experience. You must force yourself to do it.
You're gonna pay for that or what? Look, buddy, I don't want no hassle today. Either pay for it or put it back.
But there's certainly are powerful structures in the society which would prefer people to be indoctrinated, conform, not ask too many questions, be obedient, fulfill the roles that are assigned to you, and don't try to shake systems of power and authority.
To elucidate for myself a theology and the effects of a theology, which I, at that moment, realized I carried in myself. Mm-hmm. You know, it was not the world that was my oppressor only. Because what the world does to you, if the world does it to you long enough and effectively enough, you begin to do it to yourself. Mm-hmm. You become a collaborator, an accomplice of your own murderers, because you believe the same things they do.
Je crois que le pouvoir politique, il s'exerce encore, il s'exerce en outre, de plus, par l'intermédiaire d'un certain nombre d'institutions qui ont l'air comme ça de n'avoir rien de commun avec le pouvoir politique, qui ont l'air d'en être indépendantes et qui ne le sont pas. On sait bien que l'université, d'une façon générale, tout le système scolaire, qui en apparence est fait simplement pour distribuer le savoir, on sait que cet appareil scolaire est fait pour maintenir au pouvoir une certaine classe sociale et exclure des instruments du pouvoir toute une autre.
Because it hides its code for not allowing people to understand the role that education plays ideologically, the role that it plays in producing particular forms of knowledge, particular forms of power, particular kinds of social values, particular notions of agency, particular narratives about the world. It's impossible for education to be neutral. There's no such thing as a neutral education. And so you can't identify the ideological processes, politics, modes of power at work. And that's precisely what they want. I mean, look, power at its worst is invisible. It makes itself invisible. And I think that the notion that education is neutral is, to me, one way of people who have dominant power making it invisible and making propaganda itself incapable of being seen.
According to our common sense, we think that ideology is something blurring, confusing our straight view. Ideology is not simply imposed on ourselves. Ideology is our spontaneous relationship to our social world, how we perceive its meaning. Realize your true potential, be yourself, lead a satisfying life, and so on and so on. We, in a way, enjoy our ideology. To step out of ideology, it hurts. It's a painful experience. You must force yourself to do it. It is as if he is well aware that spontaneously he lives in a lie, that the glasses will make him see the truth, but that this truth can be painful, can shatter many of your illusions. If you trust simply your spontaneous sense of well-being or whatever, you will never get free.
Turn now to the ongoing chaos in Hong Kong, where we have fears now that we could see more violent protests erupt.
A ramping up of the violence we've seen over the last 48 hours. Police beating protesters who threw bricks and homemade gasoline
Little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're...
Chile is extending the state of emergency to protesters clashing with police in many areas of the capital, Santiago.
At least 20 people have died and hundreds injured.
In the houses, all went to the university where they were put in boxes, and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf.
Turkey invaded northern Syria last week to flush out America's Kurdish allies after Mr. Trump ordered U.S. troops withdrawn. Well, the result has been a bloodbath.
Of course, Music City is home to the largest population of Kurds in the country.
Go to summer camp and then to the university where they are put in boxes and they come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky.
With early voting ending tomorrow, Nashville could be on track for one of the lowest overall voting turnouts in history.
This is not U.S. policy. It should not be happening. But where are the other voices?
Ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same.
And that is the work of the poet within each one of us, to envision what has not yet been, and to work with every fiber of who we are to make the reality pursuit of those visions irresistible.